Hello, you are welcome to this class. My name is Dr. Kingsley. You are welcome to Des Brain Academy. Now in this class, I'm going to be taking us on gravimetric factor and percentage composition. Gravimetric factor and percentage composition. Okay? Now, we understand that every element in a compound have what? A relative amount in a portion of that compound's mass. I will come again. Every element in a compound has a relative amount in a portion of the compound's mass. Now, the relative amount of any element in a compound in a portion of the compound's mass is what we call the gravimetric factor of that element. Gravimetric factor of that what? Element. So you can be asked to find the gravimetric factor of any element in a compound. Now, let me take an example. You can be asked to find the gravimetric factor of carbon in 1 mole of glucose. The gravimetric factor in 1 mole of what? The gravimetric factor of carbon in 1 mole of glucose. Now, 1 mole of glucose is C6H12O6. What will be the gravimetric factor of carbon in this glucose? Now, by formula, gravimetric factor, I call it what? GF. Gravimetric factor is equals to mass of element in compound. The CP here is compound. Gravimetric factor is equals to mass of element in compound divided by molar mass of compound. So that is how we calculate the gravimetric factor. Now, if we want to get the gravimetric factor of carbon in glucose, so we are looking at what? Gravimetric factor of carbon, capital C, with respect to glucose. This will be equals to mass of carbon in glucose. That is a mass of carbon in glucose. All over molar mass of glucose. So that is what it will become. Now, if you look at glucose, which is C6H12O6, you agree with me that what? There are 6 moles of atom of carbon here. Alright, so that means the mass of carbon will be 6 times the molar mass of carbon. Molar mass of carbon is 12 divided by the entire molar mass of this what? Compound. That will be what? 6 times 12 for carbon plus, you have hydrogen is 1 times 12, plus oxygen is 6 times, 6 moles of atoms of oxygen, which is 6 times 16 for what? For oxygen. If we do this, okay, you will be getting 72 over 180. 72 over 180. That is the what? The gravimetric factor of glucose with gravimetric factor of carbon with respect to glucose. So that should be what? 72 over 180. So we take another example to get the gravimetric factor of carbon in carbon 4 oxide. Gravimetric factor GF, gravimetric factor of carbon in CO2. How do we get it? It will be what? Equals to mass of carbon in CO2 divided by molar mass of CO2. So the mass of carbon, how many carbon do we have here? Is 1 carbon. 1 times the molar mass of carbon, which is 12, over the molar mass of CO2 is 12 for carbon plus 16 times 2. That is for oxygen. So the gravimetric factor of carbon is CO2 will be equals to 12 over 44. So that will be the answer. You can see that this plus this will give us what? 44. Now, having known how to get gravimetric factor, okay, of any element with respect to a given compound, let us now look at percentage composition. Okay, percentage composition of elements in compound. Percentage composition of elements in compound. I can write a full. In compound, okay, is equals to mass, okay, will be equals to GF, okay, of elements times 100%. So that is how to get it. Remember, percentage composition of element in compound will be equals to gravimetric factor of that element with respect to the compound multiplied by what? Multiplied by 100%. Now, if you ask me now to find the percentage composition of carbon in CO2, find the percentage composition of carbon in CO2. I can now see that percentage composition of carbon by mass in CO2, percentage composition by mass, or percentage composition of carbon by mass in CO2 will become equals to what? Gravimetric factor of carbon multiplied by 100%. Remember, the gravimetric factor of carbon is mass of carbon in compound, okay, in compound, okay, divided by molar mass of CO2, because CO2 is the compound, then times 100% over 1. This will be how many carbon is in CO2? 1, which is 12, over what is the molar mass of CO2? The molar mass of CO2, we've got it to be 44. Okay, everything multiplied by what? By 100%. That is how to get it. You can simplify this further, okay, to get the percentage. All right. So I will now be taking, okay, series of questions, okay, as we go on.